What is up? Woo! Good to be back. Streamed a lot lately. But a lot of stuff to say. And the thing is, I've streamed a lot and we haven't even talked about Russia. Guess we need to do that. All right, we're gonna get going here in a second. Wanted to give some time for people to come in a little bit earlier than how I usually stream, so you know. But talk about TA. We're gonna talk about Juno, and I have some revised targets for Juno. By the way, if you're on Twitch and you say something, I think there's a comment function. I cannot see it. I'm sorry if you're on Twitch. If you're on Twitter. Yeah, back to the regular programming. Had a lot of other stuff we've been doing. I've enjoyed the interviews. I like having people on. I like talking to people. But back to the standard format here. And I've been doing some reading on Juno. And I've never been more bullish than this moment. And I'm sure there's some of you out there that are like, shut the fuck up, we get it. You've been streaming about this since Juno was $8. Carolina, what's good, buddy? Diver, what's good? So, JJ, yeah, that works too. I've been reading, and I reading more and more about Juno just because, you know, you research your bags. Usually you research your bags more when they're down, but that's not what we have going on here. Like, we're up. We're up well. Oh, by the way, just an absolute rip rate at this moment. I'll put this here while we talk. People kind of funnel in because, you know, I'm still on the lookout for the bear case for Juno because I don't think it exists. We've had a couple people make real submissions, and I'll pick somebody and give away $500. I don't really care. But there is something brewing on the interchain with Juno, and it is such an enormous deal. And literally yesterday, I came to this conclusion, or I had the realization, and I just like, I'm so excited about the possibility of it that I don't even know what to say. So you guys are tuning in right now. I really want to talk about Juno, but my usual format is start macro. So do like Bitcoin, Ethereum updates, look at the S&P 500, and then kind of move into anything. What do you want to see first, right? Do you want me to talk about Juno right away? Or do you want to like do the normal thing and hang out for a while? Because I don't care. Like I spent an hour this morning preparing how I was going to lay this out. So I'm ready to go. But you guys tell me, what do you want to see? You're like, yeah, fuck you, Juno. We hear about it all the time. Or, no, what? Ready to listen, keep them watching for the juicy news. All right, fair enough. So let's talk macro here for a minute because, yeah, word up. Ready to invade the stream. Macro first. I think macro is a good idea. Yep. What's interesting is all you guys are saying macro, so I'm happy to do that. Yeah, fuck. All right, let's do it. I will say, though, do not tune out when I start talking about Juno, because if you have not gotten it yet, you will get it when I'm done. Okay? If you have not understood why I'm so bullish on Juno, you will when I'm done talking about it. That is my guarantee to you. Okay? If for some reason you do not get it by the time I'm done talking about it, get into Twitch. I'm like, there's people on YouTube, there's people on Twitter. Get into Twitch. You can ask questions on YouTube too, just for some reason people don't go there. Flashbang, I know you're always there. A couple others are too. And ask the questions to clarify, because if when I lay this out today on Juno, you're not like, holy shit, then I don't know what to tell you. That said, macro is looking surprisingly good. Yeah, why worry about macro if the portfolio is 80% Juno? Because the target, the number I'm about to give on Juno is not fake. Like it's not bullshit. Okay, like I'm not just saying it to be a shock jock. I'm not just saying it for people to be like, oh my god, what? Like I truly believe this. What I'm going to show you. So we'll see. But let's talk about macro. Part of that target being hit is macro kind of leveling itself out. And so let's start there. I got stopped out on a lot of my longs here. Okay. This wick down, started the invasion, which was stupid. I probably shouldn't have done that. I probably shouldn't have sold. But in the moment, Russia invading Ukraine felt like one of those moments where like market makers could take advantage of existing stops and liquidation levels, and they could have caused a straight up cascade. Like a cascade down, I mean, not outside the realm of possibility, like right here, 20 grand. Okay. It was not outside the realm of possibility that happened. And so, look, you just cover your ass, you wait for another day. And so now I'm sitting on the sideline in cash, and I don't love that. In fact, I was even kind of rage tweeting about it yesterday. Not really rage tweeting, but like I believe it. Like I believe what I said, right? So this guy came in with, Bitcoin took the punch well. We avoided the abyss, which is what I was afraid of. Sure. Good start. Now it's counterpunch time. If a whale steps up here and starts like a $1 billion TWAP, send us the green on the day, it will be a power and lasting narrative shift. You can see my tweet here. The problem is whales don't actually believe in Bitcoin. They just like trading it to make money. Bitcoin should have a bid the likes the world has never seen before right now, and instead crickets. I believe in crypto. I believe in Bitcoin. I just wish others did too. Okay. And like, that's pretty hot, like coming in hot like that. But a bid has sort of shown up, which I appreciate, right? Like that's what we need to have happen. And all along, like if you go back to my stream on this day, it was either the 10th, the 11th. I think it was the 11th. All along, I had this area for a higher low all along. And I still got stopped out down here in the 34s. Actually, that's not true. I sold at like 36. So like if you go back to a lower time frame. So I sold like right here. Okay, before this big leg down. Because I was like, this is coming. And I don't know where it's going to stop. Sure enough, it did. And I was like feeling great. And then we got these rips back up yesterday. And I'm like, fuck, you're stupid. So again, just to show, even though I talk about macro a lot and I talk about structures and how to take positions, you know, I didn't play it well. Okay. Didn't play it well. So not thrilled about that. I still hold a lot of Bitcoin in cold storage. So like that doesn't really matter. But, you know, I was worried. One thing you never really know how to play are like geopolitical events. And like ordinarily, like my disposition prior to March of 20 was it'll figure itself out. And even if it has some crazy ass wick, like it'll probably even out. Right. And then I watched March of 2020, the COVID crash live. Like I was literally sitting right here watching my computer. And I was like, you know, you see that thing go from 12,000 or whatever it was to 3,800 with just relentless selling. And like I still had Agger up at the time, AGGR.trade, and you see these liquidations coming in. And I was literally like, oh my God, this is it, dude. It is game over. And so that every time there's like some crazy volatility, I'm like, is this it again? Because look, we went from 12 grand to 3,800 and that was crazy. But like, what if we went from 40,000 to 4,000? It would literally evaporate so much money in this space. And so that's what flashes through my mind. That's an emotional issue that I need to work on. Okay. That is me being a not good trader. Okay. You set your stops. You don't worry about it. My stops triggered. It's where I was worried. I probably should have set my stops below here under 33, but I didn't want to take that out. That's right. So Strutter said 34.8 was my buy zone since first breakout of 33K zone. Didn't take my plan. 33K zone was kind of that area, this institutional buy zone. And so really, like if you have a long-term view, setting your stops here, maybe even lower is where it should have been. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. And so what we talked about 14 days ago when everybody was congratulating each other right here, right where my mouse is. And we were all, let's go to the fucking moon, guys. Woo! And exactly what we talked about. By the way, this is my camera cap. I just hold my hand while I stream. I don't know why. Everybody was congratulating each other. And we were like, we fucking did it. We nailed the bottom. Because we did. Like, we all got long here. Kaz and I were both talking about it. We were like, fuck yeah, we did it. Let's go. And we thought we got it because we thought we'd get a higher high. So we set our stops here. I said that's where I thought the higher low would be. It literally went exactly where we talked about 14 days ago. It still stopped me out. That said, when you look at this right now, nothing has really changed, okay? I spend a lot of time, guys, talking about this shit. And like, I wonder sometimes if you're like, yeah, bro, we get it. But then I get some questions later on where I'm like, okay, maybe you don't get it. So let's do it again, okay? Let's just run through this really quick. So we're all on the same page. You have to understand with technical analysis, you have to understand with the idea behind TA. Those guys that you see on Twitter and gals and people that don't know TA, they say shit like, technical analysis is to dudes what moon phases are to, you know, people in whatever the fuck that's called, astronomy, whatever the fuck one is. The one that's stupid, the one that Marin does. Okay? But what you don't understand is that the idea behind trend lines, the idea behind price levels is that everything that can happen, every news article, every supply shortage, every ounce of volatility in the standard market, in the US dollar, in whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's all baked into the price chart, okay? It's called a price coordinated economy for a reason. Therefore, when there are things that happen, it's reflected on the chart. And if you go back and think about March of 20, that COVID crash was 100% justified. That we went from 12,000 to 3,800. That's what should have happened. Astronomy, the one that's stupid. I mean, you know what I'm saying though. So everything's kind of baked into the chart. And even though you can be like, it's fucking bullshit. Or like you spend your time doing this. Like when you're like, all right, man, what's on Twitter? What are these people saying? Okay, what's going on here? And like you spend your time doing that. And I'm telling you, it's fucking stupid because it's baked into the chart. And that's the whole idea behind TA. And people go, they're just arbitrary lines on charts, bro. No, they're not. Okay. Trend lines are baking in all the knowable and unknowable data points into a visual representation, something that you can see and plan off of. And people don't get that. You have to really understand that a chart is human psychology, is reaction, is whatever it is, all baked into one picture that when you learn about this stuff becomes easier to decode. Okay, like that's the basic idea. That's why it's worth learning TA, even though at times you're like, my God, this is fucking stupid. But you've heard me talk about alts now and again, and like relative price alts, and how you can essentially do relative strength, looking at alts versus ETH, or looking at Juno versus Atom or whatever. And the point is, like, you're taking a look and seeing where the market at large are judging two instruments, and it's kind of baking everything in. And so it's a great way to see what's going on. And you go, okay, Jared, it's fucking 2 minutes, wrap it up. Fine. Why am I bringing it up right now? Because we've had a lot of shit go down since right here. Okay, this day. You guys remember this day, November 10th? On November 10th of 2021, Bitcoin hit $69,000 because if it's crypto, they're going to pick a funny number. 420, 69. I remember when it was $8,888. Like, that's what we do, right? So we hit 69,000. It didn't do it on this chart because this is the index, but 68,958 is where it came to on the index. So on November 10th, we hit this high, and then right after that, what happens? Jerome Powell was like, yo, inflation's fucked. Quantitative easing is going to end. Inflation may not be transitory. We expect to raise rates significantly soon. Okay? From that day, look at what we had. Look at what we had. That was this fucking day, guys. If you think I'm bullshitting, go look it up. Go look it up. CoinShark, what's up, buddy? I'm going to talk about why Juno is a top 10 market cap token in a little bit, but I'm doing a macro update. You haven't missed much. So, from the day that Jerry P was like, fucking, the train's over, guys, we have had 3 months, 4 months, where are we now? Yeah, of essentially sell-off. We've had a downtrend since that announcement. What's a downtrend? It's what I have on the chart here. Lower low. This is the previous low. Here's a new low. Try to rattle up, lower high. Huge wick down. Create a lower low, lower high. Lower low, lower high. Lower low. Okay? Trend isn't that powerful. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Like, you really have to understand that Bitcoin doesn't like to range, like just move sideways. It's always trending, going somewhere. I actually hope we get a range at some point soon because we need to just cool the fuck off. But that's why this trend line matters so much. Trend line, it shows where higher lows or lower lows and lower highs are generally going to happen. You can do the same thing here, actually, all the way down. If you look at my mouse, so essentially from here all the way down, it kind of held. Now, are those exact areas? No, they're not. But it gives you a way to play. It also makes this candle here, I'll zoom in, more significant. Okay. Well, damn, Jared, that's the largest candle we've seen since, yeah, look at that. It was the largest green daily candle since Jerry P was like, I'm going to fuck your accounts all up right now. Okay. So you get a breakout. That's confirmation that people see that a trend line has been broken. Breaking the trend line isn't it, though. You got to form that higher high. So we get over here, and we actually did. We had closes slightly above the previous lower high. That's kind of step one, where you can tell something's changing, where you can tell something's different. We had it over here when this trend broke, okay? It was the same idea. Two ways you look at it. One, this was my hopium before that we would catch here, okay? But before that, the hopium was here. Going, all right, we sold off. But look what happened each time that these trends were broken. So don't give me this, fucking astrology bullshit. When the trend was broken, massive candle. When this trend was broken, massive candle. You telling me people don't see this? You still think TA is dumb? Okay. And now let's go back to where we are now. We get this break of the trend. We get this break of the trend. And it's the largest green candle on a daily that we've had since Jerome tried to make us all poor. Not really. He's actually doing a great job. Like, I generally dislike the current administration. Jerome Powell's kind of a douche, but like, he's doing what he has to do, and I appreciate that about him. His glasses just make him like very punchable. But anyway, so we get this higher high, and on this fucking day, February 11th, go on YouTube, go on Twitch if it's still up. I think they're up for a month. If you're a subscriber, it's up forever. But you can go, and it was like, this is a great first thing. You know, I tweeted on this day, 46.2 is where I thought we would go. Where did we get to? 45.9. I missed by $300 from over $10,000 away. And they said, look, the plan is, let's see if we can get a higher low where the trend broke. And look, guys, look where it sat. It sat right in this area. That's what this dotted line is. Essentially, that's the area exactly where the trend line broke. Look where it's been defended. Okay. So we got this higher low. Hans, what's up, buddy? Yeah, volume downtrend for a year. You're right. You're right. Look, I can't say anything about that. I don't know how much you can trust that. And like, here's my reasoning for that, Hans. So much now is, yeah. What's up, Careless? Yeah, I'm live. So much now is traded OTC from like big dicks. Like, they could hide that, dude. It's just like black pools or dark pools in the standard marketplace. When I started learning about dark pools in the standard marketplace, I was like, shit, you can't even trust volume anymore. Because they essentially can just trade dark pools OTC and you don't even see it on a chart. To where for me, like, it's almost to the point where you have to consider the chart without volume on it. Now, in reality, is that me maybe being a tin hat guy? Yeah, like, I'm not saying that it's not. But the point is, if you pull away Russia, if you pull away Ukraine, if you pull away all the bullshit, the majority of what you need to know is reflected in a chart. And if you just like, I'm going to block that, I'm not going to consider anything else. All I've seen was a downtrend for 3+ months. The trend broke. We came down and had world shattering news. And I said we're not going to consider it, but still, let's take that apart completely. I won't go back in my own word. And all we did was come down here, and we're trying to get a double bottom higher low. Okay, this would be the lower low. This would be 1. This would be 2. It'd be a double bottom higher low. Yeah, did we talk about yesterday's volume? Not yet. Not yet. I mean, I kind of just made the case for volume theoretically not being worth it, but like being a not great indicator. But that said, that's all we've gotten so far. Is a trend break, a higher high, and it looks like we're going to get a higher low. It looks like we're going to get a higher low. So for your notes at home, I'll boil this down to a couple snippets, couple bullet points. 1, this is productive, but it is not me calling a bottom. Okay. It is productive. It's the first step. We talked about this last time. 2, if this reverses, I mean, it can reject off the 50. The 50 is at 40.5. If it reverses and takes out the lows, I fully anticipate sub 30 to be tested. I fully anticipate sub 30 to be tested if we lose this low, which I guess it's more like this low. It's like 33. I agree, Hans. That's right. I always say that. I'm like, whoever talks shit about TA just doesn't know how TA works. And that's fine, dude. Like, have fun staying poor. I know you're not one of them. So like we broke a trend, which is productive, but it's not the end all be all. We're not YOLOing in. 2, this is a productive thing. It looks like we're trying to put in a double bottom higher low, but even that isn't enough. Okay. what the next thing is breaking this higher high, actually trying to create a new trend. And really, if you're looking at the chart, where things line up are essentially between the 200-day and this like 51K area is where things make the most sense for Bitcoin if it were to make a higher high. So you would expect it to kind of break through and test there if it did it. But there's so many hurdles now. This right here, 43.9 is going to be resistance. I guarantee you. And for the same reasons that we've talked about a ton of times, right? Like people who buy here, buy in this area, we're like Bitcoin to the moon. This is the next one. Like they thought this was the higher low, and they were wrong. And so they got long. And since people are stupid, they don't use their stops. So they got ripped back down. And now they're like, oh God, my thesis was wrong. So when price gets back up there again, what are they going to do? They're going to try to sell it back down. Not that they're trying to sell it back down. They're just going, oh fuck, I got out for break even, because people are stupid and don't know how to trade. All right. So you can expect resistance there. You can expect resistance there. You can expect resistance at that 47.3, the 200-day, the 50.8. Like there's a bunch of areas of resistance now. Like easy mode is done, guys. And you have to take this one level at a time moving forward. So first level for me, if we continue past the 50-day, which 50-day is the first one, is this 43.8. After that, 46.2, then 50, 50, whatever. And if we reject prior to any of those, or you get like some SFP wick up and then it sells back down and we take out these lows, get the fuck out. Get out. Diesel, what's up, buddy? What's up? All right, so I just got your ad is about to start, and I snoozed it for 5 minutes. We're all emotional, no doubt. We're all emotional. And so that is what I expect to have happen. And yeah, like I said, I got stopped out down here, and that sucks. Like I played it poorly, but it is what it is. You know what I'm not doing? I'm not buying in right now because I don't need to. You know what I will do? If we break this, like convincingly break this higher high, I'll get long. Say, but Jared, why would you buy 46? You could buy it right now at 39.4. Well, because I don't feel great about my entry here. I feel better about a scalp from breaking a previous higher high to what I see as the next resistance than I do just putting in money here. Now that's in a trading mode. That's in a trading mode. If you're just DCAing in, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter what the price is. Those are two very different things. So keep your head on a swivel. Right? Yeah, the 45, the 50, somewhere in there. So like you could play that run all the way up. Really, it's gonna be like, look at these shorts, guys and gals. I hate doing that. I just can't stop. Okay. BPVR kind of tells us where people have traded. So I'll pull this out. There's a lot of volume right there. And look, we got right to the edge of it and rejected, and we got right down here to the edge of this side of it and rejected. So you have this area in here where it probably is a lot of shorts coming down and people that would be forced into closing their positions. Yeah, POC is right where we stop. Yep, look, it's right here on mine too. This red line is the POC. 33,175, and our low was on here 32,937. Okay. Point of control is within a couple $100 on this very like inaccurate instrument. Okay. So that's where we are. That's like kind of my macro update on Bitcoin. So it's a good first step. It doesn't mean we're out of the woods. If we lose these lows, I don't expect it will be fun. So, you know, keep an eye, right? You got to keep an eye on that shit. For those of you just joining in, I just talked about Bitcoin and what I expect to have happen. It's a macro update. Today's been very productive. I like to see this. I like to see this wick. I like to see this move up. And what I don't like is like this sort of drift. Like, I don't like that. What, again, like you talk about healthy price action. For those who have studied price action, what you actually want is this and then flagging, okay? And then breakouts. When you get drift to the highs, to like a wick high, less good. It's not as productive. How do I know? I've been doing this a long time. Okay. It's less productive price action. It's shakier when you just kind of like flow up versus like sideways consolidation and breakup. Anyway, I don't really like to dig into low time frames that often. Interestingly, most interestingly, if we talk about, right, productive. It's just productive. Doesn't mean it's end all be all. It's just productive. Thank you. Appreciate you, Hans. What's more interesting is Ethereum, which quite frankly, I've had my eyes off of for a little bit. And like, there's no question that this is putting in a higher low now. Like the Bitcoin one is like a little bit kind of tough to see. Like you have to kind of like squint your eyes a little bit and be like, yeah. I mean, that's definitely there. But Ethereum looks a lot cleaner, right? There wasn't like a pause of consolidation. This just kind of looks like lower low, not really a higher high. So that sucks. It's still a lower high, but this might be a higher low. So it's happening in a couple different ways. $2,100. I could see that. I think I saw that too. Was it like Maker? Did Maker actually tweet that? I think Maker actually tweeted that. But yeah, like they show where their liquidation levels are, which are pretty fucking nuts. Yeah. Again, those fucking guys. Jesus Christ. So Ethereum is still battling this trend line a little bit, right? It hasn't seen the breakout that Bitcoin did, which is not shocking given where things are. And like, you guys all heard me get like very angry on Kaz's stream about what's happening with Bitcoin and having this missed opportunity. At the end of the day though, if you look at the ETH BTC chart, like you can see that the relative strength is with Bitcoin. It has been, since December, right? Like ETH BTC declining means that when you're looking at charts, Bitcoin matters more than Ethereum. Some of you have been following me for a long time. Others have not, but I've been talking about this since back here, right? Because I was trading and not streaming as much, but I was trading DeFi Summer, which is right here, and then all this. And so essentially what I've been saying is really since DeFi Summer, Ethereum has been completely dictating price. The levels were cleaner, and Bitcoin kind of turned around as Ethereum turned around. And I don't, do I have it on here? Let me pull it up. Oh shit, where is it? I had a chart, which I might have accidentally deleted, which will make me very sad, but it had all of my levels going back to March of 20. XXT, what's up, buddy? So anyway, Ethereum had been easier to trade for a long, long time. XXT, dog. And was sort of dictating price on Bitcoin. Not so much, right? So Bitcoin's in the driver's seat, but you do like to see this higher low on Ethereum. Bitcoin to me is, like I said, driving. What will make me more interested is if we can break this, like this trend. You're like, look at that trend line. You're like, Jared, your fucking chart's disgusting. And it is, guys. Like, I'm sorry. Okay, let me pull some shit out of here. Okay, don't care about that. That's relevant. Don't care about that. Don't care about that anymore. Don't care about that anymore. I can pull that off. Okay, it looks a little bit better. Yeah, you're right. So this makes it a little bit better. Okay, you have this downtrend line. This pivot matters. This pivot probably matters too, but it's right near the trend. So what I'd like to see on Ethereum is the challenge of this level, because if it breaks, you're going to see the daily up like we saw with Bitcoin. Okay, you're going to see the whoop up if that happens, right? And so that's what I'd be curious to see. What I don't want to see is like, oh yeah, bitch, everything's great, womp, and then we get that ripped down to the area that Hounds was talking about, that 2100 on-chain liquidation level. Not great, right? Not great. Not great. So I would like to see some sort of challenge, because they have not done what Bitcoin has done yet. Yeah, right. You gotta wait till you read the flippening 3 times in a row. You know what though, man? Because like, you're gonna laugh, because I know that everybody looks at me and they're like, you're a Juno maxi. I'm really not. Like, I learned about Juno. It's the best thing I've seen in the space right now. It's why I talk about it, and I'm gonna lay it out for you. So there's 40, 50 of you that I can see on here, which means there's probably another 50 of you in other places where I can't see. So roughly 100 people watching. I'm gonna talk about ETH BTC really quick, and then I want to talk about Juno. And you're like, all right, bro, we've talked about Juno, but I'm gonna lay out to you exactly why Juno's a big deal. And if you don't get it by the time I'm done explaining it, I don't know what to tell you, but essentially I read a report yesterday prepared by one of those fancy crypto research firms, okay, that people pay big money to be a part of, where they sent out something about Juno. And it wasn't even something that they said that they explicitly put in their report, but it triggered something into my brain based on something they had in their report. And I was like, oh my God, I had another aha moment in Juno. I've been having them since it was $8. It just so happens that Juno right now is $31.22. Oops, there you go, $31.22. And I've been having them since it was $8, and it just got better last night for the first time. And I'm going to lay that out in 2 seconds. Which, by the way, how many of you got an ad? Did anybody get an ad just now? Because my bad if you did. I think you did. Fucking hate Twitch. The only reason I'm considering. You didn't? No. I like half want to go to just YouTube because I'm so sick of these fucking ads, man. Well, it's gonna come. So please let me know when it does so I can pause, and we'll talk about this shit again. But yeah, so I know that it did because I saw 10 people drop off. So those of you that are here probably didn't get it. Others who did or just stepped in got an ad. Pause button emote coming for real. That's not a wait. Is there a pause? Is there a pause emote? Pause? I need to create one. Flashbang. That's why I joined through YouTube. Yeah, I don't blame you, dude. I don't blame you. Okay, so Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin. When we saw this, like that's why I have this arrow here, right? Oh shit. Yeah, it says I ran an ad. Fuck. I knew it was coming. Let me know when you're back. Okay, we're back. Sweet. So this arrow was where I was really like, things are not looking good. There's a panda ad? All right. And so we thought we flipped this level. That's where I was like, 0.16 ETH, man, looks pretty good because we had this long level that actually goes back to last cycle. And it's looking super sick that we flipped it because we did it here. Came back up and then boom. Oh, Kaz, what's up, buddy? Kaz in the house. And then we got a breakdown, first retest back. That's actually on a 3-day chart where that line comes from, okay? And we just rejected straight off this. That's where that line comes from. And it rejected straight down. So Ethereum, right when that rejected, my thought was this line, this 0.062. And I still think that it's going to reject. It's going to underperform. Not completely, not like continuously, but it's going to underperform Bitcoin, I think, for a while. And it probably really, if we reject here, I think it's almost likely we get to 0.055 before we actually have like a turn and a chance for relative strength. Because again, this is like TA 101, guys. So like, you know, some of you know this, some of you don't. But when you see these sort of like fake out and rejections on one side, so call this a range, right? That's why this red's up here. That's why this green is down here. Okay, this is support. That's resistance. When you see this sort of like whoop rejection, call it a deviation. When deviations happen, the most likely outcome is you're going to retest the other side of the range. Okay. When you get a deviation like this and it rejects, essentially it rejects, falls back into the range. It fell back in, tried to come back up, rejected again. The most likely outcome is you're going to test the other side of the range. Because like, think about it. It's a conversation between buyers and sellers, right? Buyers were saying, we value this at higher a percentage of Bitcoin than list level right here. Camel, perfect timing, dude. I'm about to lay out the goods. I'm about to lay out the goods on Juno. I'm literally almost done. Then I'm rolling into Juno. Okay. It's a conversation between buyers and sellers. And buyers said, we value this at higher than this level. And sellers said, bullshit, prove it. Okay. It's range trading. Hounds just said it. Beautiful range trading. What is range trading? Okay. Well, it's price bounces between two areas. That's what this is. This red and this green. It's bouncing between these two areas. But what I don't think a lot of people understand is that like the bullshit in the middle of a range really doesn't matter. Like the people who are dictating price that are essentially exerting their will upon the chart don't show up mid-range. We do not diddle in the middle. That's right. It's a fucking great term, dude. Is that you? Exactly right. You don't mess around in the middle. Okay. But what people don't truly understand is that, not yours? Okay. Well, it's yours to me now. From now on, I'll say we don't diddle in the middle. That's what Hound said. Ask him who he heard it from. Buyers or bulls show their power at resistance and bears show their power at support, right? Yeah. So essentially, when I get here, now people who think it's higher have to prove it. It's not just that you got to that higher range. Like, are you just going to lay down like a little bitch, or are you going to try to punch through? And the same thing for the other side, right? So bears, no, we don't value it here. I'm going to try to punch down because I think it's even worse. Nope, that's where bears have to prove it. And buyers will probably show up. So you have to think about it kind of like inverse how you typically think of things. And bulls tried to bust through and rip it to new highs, and it failed miserably. So here we sit on Ethereum. And I don't really expect to be interested in playing any sort of Ethereum-based alts until this level is tested. Or we see some crazy ass breakout and it take out another level. This is where patience is king, guys. You know how much money people lose by forcing trades? It's unreal. It's unfreaking real. Okay. Any thoughts on this? Any questions that you want to talk about? Let me know, because I see a couple other things and we'll come back to this, but like Solana, believe it or not, actually looks good to me right now. The fake out was, dude, it was terrible. It was literally, you were like, yes, we're going to do it. Ha, just kidding. And wham, right back down. So not fun. Not great. Solana looks okay to me. Obviously Luna, ever since that news came out that 3AC and a bunch of other people are backing UST, that's huge. Huge. And yeah, Solana actually looks pretty good. So this is a bull div on the daily for MACD. This is how we called the bottom for Bitcoin in July. It was right here, same thing. Actually, it's really more than this. But yeah, so like these things are typically good. It's how we call the top in November. Again, bear div. So like these things happen constantly, and they happen slowly. They happen on higher time frames. But if you're willing to wait, they show up, just like right now. You know what's happening right now? There's roughly, I don't know, 40 on here, probably another 50 or so on Twitter. A lot of you are looking at this right now, and you're gonna be like, nah, man, fuck Sol, I'm not doing that. And then like 3 weeks, we're gonna come back, and Sol's gonna be like $140. And you're gonna be like, son of a bitch. Like, you just don't fade these signals, man. These are strong signals. Right now, it's a long on Sol, even though I don't even love Sol. It's just a long. You can long here, put your stops under low. And easily take a 4-hour trade. Easily, it's a 4-hour trade. It might be even better than that. But I could definitely see it, since it had this, like, you can look, all right. My last thing, I'm going to Juno, swear to God. Look how clearly it broke. It held the 200-day, tried to hold it, wham! So where's the next target on this sort of a signal? Whoop, prove it, bitch. Prove it. Can you get back over the 200-day? No, I'd short the fuck out of that, okay? I would. All right. Now, I want to talk to you about Juno. And the reason why I want to talk to you about Juno is I read something different yesterday. Something that I have not heard before in a long time. When it came about like the modularity of Cosmos And it kind of pulled everything together for me on Juno. So to like set this up appropriately, I had a buddy who subscribes to one of those fancy crypto research firms. I can say what it was. I'm not going to say who it was because I'm not going to out him. And he just sent me like a screenshot of something about Cosmos and Juno. And this was like one of those fancy research firms being like, this is a big deal for Juno. And I was like, oh my God, I never really thought about it that way. So we sit here, the current market cap for Juno is $1.29 billion, which is a lot. I think Camel posted something earlier in Stack Labs, or I don't remember exactly where it was, but I think we're like 78 right now, 78th in market cap, or something like that. That's pretty high. That's pretty high. So by the way, you guys can't see it on my screen, but up here I have a bunch of tabs. And on this tab right here is my price prediction for Juno. Unironic price prediction. Yeah, Kaz says we are flying up. Because everything else is nuking and we're not, which again speaks to the tokenomics. I'm not going to get into that. Okay. The tokenomics, the reasons why, the team is great, why the team doesn't give a fuck, like whatever, like they're vast. Okay. They're essentially, I've talked about that ad nauseum. If you want to learn more about it, go learn, watch my previous streams. That's not what I'm going to talk about today. This is new information to you. If you've been listening to me on this, okay? So we sit here at 1.3 billion. And I want to talk about something that I usually never really bring up. And that is like, what is Cosmos and where does Juno fit into it? Okay. The internet of blockchains, like you've heard that shit. Vitalik took a shot at it. When he was on Up Only, kind of. But I literally have 5 images to show you, and I'm going to rip through a couple sites, and we're going to talk about why this is, honest to God, I think it's a top 10 market cap token. And you're going to be like, fuck off. Really? Yeah. Yeah, I do. Okay. What is Cosmos? You have all these different chains, and like the key point behind Cosmos is this, okay? It's the Cosmos SDK. The Cosmos SDK. What you need to understand about the Cosmos SDK is essentially like consensus is Tendermint, right? Like the Tendermint BFT is what kind of sits behind everything. That's why Tendermint's a big part of this. Networking, IBC, okay, moving things back and forth. And then there's this application layer, which is the Cosmos SDK. The reason why it's easy to develop on Cosmos is they essentially, just in general, most of these places, they'll give you the stack, right? Like this part's done, just build out your application. That's it. That's all you have to do. Because we already handled a lot of the difficult shit that comes along with creating a blockchain or with creating an app. Like that's done. Just go design what you want to design. But that's not even the point of this. The point of what I'm showing you here, where I'm pissed I can't have like a pointer on here. But you see governance, staking, slashing, IBC, whatever it is. Those are modules, okay, that you can like bolt on to your token. So yes, we onboard, like you heard about Terra onboarding IBC. I forget what month that was in. It wasn't that long ago. A couple months ago. So Terra onboards IBC. Well, what does that mean? That means essentially on their application layer, they added in IBC. That means they're able to now communicate with the interchain at large. All right. So pull that down, pull this up. This gives a great example of it. Okay. Of like how a hub works and all the different chains that kind of sit within the interchain. This is an old image. So like you don't even see Juno on here. That wasn't really the point of me bringing this up because the point's going to be made as I make it. But you can see how IBC kind of pulls them all together. And it's what allows them to kind of move between chains permissionlessly if it's enabled, and like seamlessly. There's no issues about somebody like, I'm going to send stuff. Oh, yoinks. Like I'm not going to. Otherwise, the IBC packet will fail. So you can just move between blockchains easily. All right. You're going, yeah, fuck Jared, we get it. This is Interchain 101. Yes, it is. Okay. Another look at it. It's the modularity that makes it interesting. Okay. It's the modularity that makes it interesting because this is all coming to Cosmwasm. And apart from the fact that Cosmwasm is a terrible name, okay, it is. It just is. Cosmwasm is a modular piece of the Cosmos stack, okay? So any person, any chain can onboard Cosmwasm, and many of them have, all right? And many of them have. So that means essentially you can add Cosmwasm and you go, well, Jared, what is that? Glad you asked. Okay, I'm gonna look at this one really quick. Yep, all right. I'm gonna go to this video that came out. I'm gonna pause my music because I want you guys to hear this. This is Confident in Crypto. I will put the link in the chat because I never want to be the person. That's Fuzzy Wuzzy, not Cosmwasm. I never want to be the person that doesn't give credit when credit's due. So this is Ethan Fry with Liam Connor, who is Confident in Crypto. And this came out a couple days ago. And I want to play this for you. I paused it at the exact moment that I wanted to. So Ethan at Confio essentially is the founder of Cosmwasm, right? And he talked about what this could possibly mean.
Well, I think the coolest feature of IBC, and this is Cosmwasm is, and I really want this to explode. When this starts exploding, this is one I personally want to code, right? Like this, I'm stoked to code this. So like I have all these other projects I'm supposed to be doing, but like I really want to write IBC contracts. What we have is an abstracted layer. The same way we can, have a staking derivative contract that runs on all chains in the same abstraction as staking module, even if it's like different versions of SDK. We have abstracted out the IBC layer, so you can have a contract that speaks IBC. Right? It actually makes its own channels, not just speaking like sending tokens. It writes its own protocol. It has its own channels, its own packets, its own structure, its own lifetime. So it can actually handle that like your own web server logic. So what it means is we can write, one thing I want to write is like another version of interchain accounts that's like, here's a concept one we're talking about doing. Osmosis, you'll have contracts on Juno want to know the price of something on Osmosis or swap on Osmosis, right? So they want to have a contract so they can send a token to Osmosis, swap it, and come back, right? Like, let's say you're building, it's a useful primitive to have, right? And since the most liquidity is on Osmosis over Juno swap, like, let's use that one, right? But it's another chain, it's a pain. But with IBC, you can have one thing that says, send 500 Juno over here, swap it for Osmo, and bring it back, right? In one transaction, just like you send your token over there, the whole thing can be turned into one protocol. So we can do this, And if the price is too low, then revert it. Just send me back my original tokens.
Okay, did you guys just hear that? Did you hear what he just fucking said? I'm not even going to turn my music back on because I feel like I need to speak into the camera. Okay? He just said that Cosmwasm, along with IBC, can be written. Another chain, it's a pain. Okay, that essentially I can say, oh, I'm on Juno. I want to go over to Osmo, take advantage of the price here. I want you to swap it. I want you to send it back to me. That makes your ability to transact across chain feel like an L2 or an L3 even, where like, I don't need to fuck around with IBC transfers. It's all written into contracts. And you go, yeah, but Jared, why is that a big deal, right? Like, okay, we just do it manually now. Well, one, for adoption, it matters. But two, I want to bring up, hold on, did I bring up Sunny? I don't know if I did. Oh, shit. Okay, so I want to talk about what Cosmwasm tokens are, and I want to talk about development on Juno, okay? Somewhere in that interview, that's right, the scalability potential is insane. But in that interview, and you should go listen to it, he talks about permissioned and permissionless blockchains, okay? So you go, well, look, all the liquidity is on Osmosis. Why wouldn't people just go to Osmosis? Osmosis is a permissioned blockchain, okay? You can't just build there. You have to get approved, voted in, allowed to be on Osmosis. You can't just go. That's what they have governance for. Do you know what the permissionless blockchain is? That started and is essentially the home of CosmWasm? It's Juno. Okay? That has pros and cons, right? That has pros and cons. The pros and cons there are there will be rug pulls on Juno, guys, because it's permissionless. But the point is CosmWasm and its ability to integrate elsewhere. And this is what's interesting. And this is what the research article said. This right here, Juno, Neta, CW20, being on osmosis, essentially proved that any token launching on CosmWasm can be seamlessly integrated into another chain. Can be seamlessly integrated into another chain. So you could launch any token on Juno, and it's a CW20 token. And these are the chains where theoretically that token could be used. Could be used. So if you develop on Juno, you are in a permissionless environment. You create something good. They just proved that CosmWasm tokens can be sent anywhere within the entire interchain. Okay. By the way, I don't know, T on YouTube, I'm sorry you showed up late, but the first 45 minutes of this stream was all about directionality of the markets. I'm sorry you showed up late. I appreciate your comment on we get it, you understand Juno, but literally the first 45 minutes of this stream before you got here was talking about directionality of the markets. So go back and look. So think about that for a second. Where are people going to build? Are you going to build in a place that has to be permissioned or is permissionless? Are you going to build in a place where you have to get their approval for you to come on, or where you can just do it yourself? Okay. Look at this. Sunny. EVM, legacy virtual machine. Solana, virtual machine designed for vertical scalability. CosmWasm, VM designed for cross-chain horizontal scalability. AKA, if you have one of these things that you want to build, open finance, gaming, healthcare, predictions markets, options, connecting to other chains, whatever it is, you can build that on Juno as they're proving out that CosmWasm tokens can go anywhere. You want to integrate with Luna later on with Terra? Build it on Juno. You want to integrate with Atom, with Stars, with Osmo? Build it on Juno. Prove that it works, they'll vote you in. And then all of a sudden, the home for you to be able to operate between chains is Juno. Okay? That's how big this gets. That's where this goes. So I don't know if you guys get this or not, but essentially it means smart contracts that are proven to go across chain reside on Juno. The interface will be on Juno. The customizability will be on Juno, and it will be able to dip in to the market caps of every connecting chain, including Luna. And so this is my current, no bullshit, unironic target for Juno. Because to say it would do anything else would be a gross misunderstanding of what it is they're trying to do. You need to learn about the interchain. You need to learn about modularity. You need to listen to this interview with Ethan and Liam. I don't know Liam at all, dude. I'm literally pimping his show. I don't know who the fuck this guy is. All right. But he had a great interview with Ethan. Hopefully he'll come on here one day and talk about it. But he literally lays out an easy example of what can be done with CosmWasm. And I was like, oh my God. And this alone, even though you guys look at this and you undervalue Neta. I mean, Neta is so grossly undervalued right now. I've acquired so much Neta in the past couple of days. You guys have no fucking idea. Okay. Neta is the first token that proved you can safely interact with other chains via IBC. It is literally proving the CosmWasm thesis. And no one fucking realizes it. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. It's a huge milestone, let alone the plans that they have for Neta, which is like a whole different thing, right? Modularity. It's a D, man, not J. It's a D, modularity. So when you start to think about this token through that lens, it becomes totally different. So yeah, here's Camel. I keep screaming my lungs out to Solidity devs and how undervalued CosmWasm is and why they should convert instantly, but they're distracted by ETH's market share, which I believe is only temporary and won't last, right? As soon as they start building, they'll come to this. Because guys, I almost pulled it up and I didn't. I wonder if I can do it still here quickly. Shit. There was like a good visual example of what can be done, right? On Cosmos and why. And like you have to think about it. These are all app-specific chains, right? They're app-specific chains. So Stars is NFTs. Atom is shared security. Osmo is the centralized exchange of the Cosmos. I don't even think the Juno swap guys deny that, all right? Like it is. It has a ton of liquidity. So you have all these different places that sit. And if you were trying to build all of them in one blockchain, you'd run into the same bullshit you have with Ethereum. Do you remember my interview with Jack a couple weeks ago? Where he literally said, well, all those problems that ETH 2.0 are trying to rectify and they're trying to figure out. And well, that's nice, guys, but we already thought of those and we fixed them before we got going. This is what he meant. This is what he meant. He meant it's all right there, dude. It's literally all right there. You can just go fucking, you're going to be able to operate on Juno in between any protocol. Imagine the vaults, the lending, everything you can imagine on Ethereum. But instead of only having one pot, you're going to have these different hubs and ecosystems that you're going to be able to play in across all of them. And you're fading that because it's $1 billion market cap? You are out of your fucking mind. Unironically. Unironically, where we're going. Yeah, X, I posted it a little bit ago. I'll post it again for you. What else do you want me to say? Does this make sense? Oh my God, dude, XKCD. That's pretty funny. I love XKCD though. Apart from that flashbang just now, that's pretty good. All right. Did that make sense to everybody? Are there any detractors here? Is there anybody who says what I just put together is wrong? Yeah, number go up. Oh yeah, sorry, that's Luna. So I'm using Luna because, well, look, I'm using Luna because Luna is a hell of an example of how large a market cap can become. What is the largest reason why Luna is where it is? Anybody, this is just participation time, okay? Why is Luna the 9th largest cap? That's correct. That's correct. UST. So again, I'm just putting on my hat here. If you had the ability to do this, do you think there's utility in a CW20 stablecoin? Do you think that'd be of use to anybody? Do you think there'd be a use? Do you think there would be a reason for someone to create a stablecoin that was a CosmWasm token that could interchangeably work across every protocol within the interchain? I'm speculating here, but literally this is where my brain went. I don't know, guys. I don't know. So, I don't know what to tell you. Prediction markets, lending protocols, everything that can cross chains. And Juno is permissionless. Juno is permissionless. All these other chains, you guys are like, well, what about this? Osmo's permission. You can't just build. Random Task, what's up, buddy? When are you coming on, bro? How to bridge to Osmo, dude. Yeah. I did that video in October, no shit. If you go back on October 8th, 2021, I put out a video on how to bridge to Osmo. So people are like, oh, bro. Yeah, sitting here on Twitter, like, okay, must have. Fucking right. I'm glad you showed up. See, I never know if people are watching on Twitter, Random Task. I really don't. I assume, I just don't, right? So yeah, essentially, you can wormhole to Luna, to Terra, and then, no, you don't have to do that, dude. I'm gonna tell you right now. You can wormhole from Solana, from Ethereum, from whatever it is, UST to Terra, and then you can essentially, since Terra is IBC enabled to Osmo, you can shoot in, essentially deposit your UST that's on Terra into Osmo. So here's what's tricky about all this, guys. And like, I don't have my account connected on purpose, but like right here on the Osmo page, so it's osmosis.zone. When you get to Terra, I'm not gonna, it might show my, is it going to? No, I don't have it. It's not connected. So essentially you bridge UST from ETH, from Solana, from wherever to Terra. You have to make sure you add it to your Kepler wallet, and it's all one thing, which is easy to do. And then you essentially would just go in here to assets and hit deposit. Where the fuck is it? Terra UST, deposit, and boom, it's here. It's that easy. And remember, guys, when you do, every time you do this, every time you go from Atom to Luna to Secret to Juno to Stars to whatever the fuck it is, this is not like going from Aave to Uniswap. These are different blockchains, guys. Different blockchains. You are going from Ethereum to Avalanche every time you do that. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, so you got it. You got it. You know, yeah, so add Terra, you know, whichever way you like to do. But yeah, so anyway, I'm glad that Random Task, and OG, when I'm asking, like, do you guys get it? Was like, oh yeah, fuck, I get it. I'm watching on Twitter. At least somebody did. I mean, I asked you guys, only one that said he did. It had to come in from Twitter, and he's also a fucking legend in the space. So at least I got through to somebody today. All right. Anyway, appreciate you, fam. And by the way, you can come on whenever you like. I know you got shit going on. But I'm like on the guest circuit now. So please, whatever you want, bro. And yeah, that's not going to change. That's my target. Until proven otherwise, that's my target. Yeah, dude. I'm back now. I was traveling for a while. I think you were too. It'd be fun to chat. Hey, good for you, dude. Good for you. I'm just racking up guests, man. I like talking to people. I like hearing different opinions. So doing chores with you on my headphones might be. Dude, you're good. All good. All right. So any questions on this? Like, did any of that not make sense? Yeah, which is pretty funny too. So like the other thing, since I said they're all different chains, like you should leave like a fraction of a token behind wherever you go, except for on Osmo where it's free. They essentially have a pot that they're allowing people to trade for free. So, you know, get some, don't get some, have fun staying fucking poor. But I swear to God, I'm going to have, when this is a top 10 token, I'm literally going to go back and create a montage from when I was talking about this at $8, $10, $13, $20, $30, $100, $500. And I'm going to laugh at all of you. I'm not really sure I have anything else to say, to be completely honest. Like that's pretty much all I got. And by the way, here's the thing. I sound like a toxic maximalist right now. I'm not, okay? Like, as much as I love Juno, if something new came out that I didn't know about, some critical flaw, then yeah, we'll talk about it. And we'll change our mind. I don't think it'll happen. Dunning-Kruger Pro, will you do a montage if it goes to $1? Sure. Hey guys, remember that time where I called something at $8 and it went to 36 and I made a fuckload of money and then it went to 1 and that wasn't good, but I'm not an idiot, so I made an absolute fortune and took profit along the way. Now it went down to $1. My bad. Come on, man. My goal as a developer is to see Juno has more building activity in Ethereum, the outclass tech. It might take some time until the education spreads. You know, it probably, the 200-day mark, the 200-day. Essentially, if this signal activates, which it is, it's activating right now, the target for me would be probably here. So, Solana to 150. Can you talk about Osmo pools, how they work, about APR and LP? Yeah, no problem. So, by the way, that is what the video was from October. But you can see the incentivized pools, meaning like things that you get paid out in Osmo to do if you are LP on Osmo. Okay, so these are the incentivized pools, and you go, these are pretty nice. There's a lot of good stuff in here. You know, you got fucking, I don't know, Atom and Crow. You got Akash and Atom. There's Juno, Atom, like whatever. And then you come down here to the bottom. This is really where it matters more and why Osmo's great. Not to mention shared staking starts on like fucking Monday. Or I'm sorry, superfluid staking starts on Monday. And we're going to have to do a whole different video on that because it's going to blow your fucking mind. But essentially superfluid staking is, I think the first pool is going to be Osmo and Atom. So you can essentially deposit Osmo and Atom into an LP, get yield on Osmo, on like the chain, on Osmosis Zone, but then also take that Osmo that you originally deposited and deposit it to a validator and get validator rewards as well. So you're essentially going to be able to double up on your LP rewards. So we'll talk about that on Monday when it goes live. However, the external incentivized pools are the ones that are interesting on Osmo. Because like right here, Juno Osmo, you go in, there's $78 million of liquidity in Juno Osmo, which is pretty fucking nice. But there's these external incentivized rewards. So you come down here, you pick a day. I'm going to bond for 1 day, 7 days, or 14 days. And that locks it up. Like you can't get it out. You have to actually bond it. So you have to add liquidity to the pool, add in whatever you want on either side. They have to be equal weighted for now, although I think that's changing. You can deposit a single asset if you like, and it will split it for you because this is cheap tech, or it's effective tech, which makes it cheap. Better way to put that. And you can add liquidity, but that's not enough to start earning rewards. Once you're in, you got to click this button, start earning. That's where you pick the bonding length. For a day, it would be 40%. For 7 days, it'd be 65%. For 14 days, it'd be 81% or 82%. You pick that, boom, you bond it. For those 14, actually, as soon as you start, that's the rate that you get, okay? 81.93%. Or 65 or 40, like you're at full bore. The reason why the external incentivized pools are interesting and why I have this here is you're going to get the standard APR that you're getting from Osmo. So you'll get paid out in Osmo every single day. It's always at like the epoch that's happening right now, actually. Like literally 11:15 Central every day. And they pay you out your Osmo. Yeah, they pay you out your Osmo. You're like, yeah, that's no different, Jared. That's any other fucking yield farming token. True. However, you also, if these external incentivized pools are essentially, protocols like Juno, saying if you LP, you'll get your Osmo, which you always get when you LP on Osmo, but we'll also give you Juno as well. So you're getting 2 yields for the price of 1. This has been an absolute money printer for me. Even though Juno, I've gotten slipped like fucking, I've gotten IL'd like crazy against Osmo because Juno has gone up so much. I've been getting extra Juno for LPing it. I don't really care as much. And it definitely outweighs it. Problem is, you got to decide what's best for you. Are you doing it for a day, 7 days, 14 days? Because when you hit unbond, that's when the clock starts. So you can literally bond for 14 days. As soon as the transaction finishes, you can hit unbond and boom, 14 days until you can get that bitch. If you wait 3 days and then hit unbond, it's 14 days from that moment. It's not like it tracks when you first started and put your LP in. And there's a schedule. So essentially it will stay at the 14-day rate down to like 7, and then from 7 down to 1. So like it actually drops as you go. You need to manually unbond. Yeah, so it doesn't just automatically, like literally, you could be in here under 14 days. You're like, all right, it's been 14 days. I can get off. I'm going to go do it. Nope. You got to click unbond, and then the 14 days start. Something that people screw up sometimes. Okay. But the external incentivized pools are worth it vastly. Now, this is my biggest issue personally with Osmo. My biggest issue personally with Osmo is every single incentivized pool that you see here is inflating Osmo. So all of them are paying out Osmo, and then these ones down here are paying out Osmo and something else. And Dunning-Kruger Pro said, do you know when Juno swap rewards will happen? Wolf talked about it the other day in, I think in one of the rooms, either in his validator room or in the Juno room. I don't remember. But he said they're testing. Essentially, they're testing raw. Raw is going to be the LP rewards on Juno swap. And you go, that's weird. On Juno, they're not going to be paying out in Juno? No. Which is another reason why this makes an absolute ton of sense. Because even LP rewards on Juno swap aren't even going to be paid out in Juno. So it's not going to inflate Juno and add additional sell side pressure. It isn't. It's paying out in fucking raw, guys. Like, I've made the case 1,000 times why Juno's amazing. And one of them, among 1,000 others, is they were like, yeah, we're not going to give incentives for people to come and yield farm to build Juno swap. We're going to give incentives to builders to come and build on Juno. Yeah, Camel says, yeah, testing external incentives contract, which means we're almost ready, guys, but we need to confirm everything's okay. Which, quite frankly, I'd rather have happen. Okay, like, don't care. And that's not even talking about like all the airdrops. So, okay, by the way, so one last thing about Juno makes a lot of sense. we just talked about why Juno is going to be the perfect environment for builders to build, right? Because it's permissionless. You can come in. If it works there, you'll theoretically be able to send it on any other chain that you want, okay? Yes, this all makes a lot of sense. You understand why so many of us are staking Juno now? Because where do most airdrops get directed? Oh, to the place where it's going? So if we're saying that this is the best environment for builders to come build, and you get airdrops of these new tokens whenever they launch, just for staking Juno on Juno. Yeah, I like airdrops. I like airdrops constantly, which is what we're going to have happen. You're literally going to see airdrops upon airdrops upon airdrops for staking Juno. And oh, by the way, it's also still paying out 96% APR in Juno until the end of September. So anyway, I feel like I made my point. You guys, if you don't get it now, I don't know what to tell you. If you don't feel like asking questions because you feel like I'll make fun of you, or you just don't want to be the dumb kid in class, first off, I was the dumb kid in class, and I got to be the not dumb kid in class by asking questions. Just a thought. But I just posted the Stack Labs Telegram in the chat. So come join. If you don't want to talk to me here, come in there. I've never once in the history of my Telegram room, which almost has 900 people, been tagged with a question and not responded. So join the Telegram. If you're watching on Twitter, the link's in my yat. And ask whatever questions you want to ask. But please understand that, yes, I've been talking about Juno a lot, and I know some of you are tired of it. My man on YouTube was like, fuck you, Jared. I don't want to hear about Juno. Talk about the market. I get it. But if it wasn't that good, I wouldn't be talking about it. All right. Yes, of course. Dasher, thank you for popping in. Go blue, as always. Kaz, go blue. Camel, I appreciate you coming in and backing me up. Oh, by the way, guys, I like to say this because, well, it's a fucking flex of mine. Like, half the Juno team is in my Telegram room. So do I always know exactly like this shit, what this shit is before I start talking about it? No. Do I have the resources to ask people, hey man, is this right? Yeah, it is right there. You can ask questions too. Anyway, it is Friday. There was a question that came up a little bit ago of sorry for the non-Juno question. Mark, there's a little bit of snark in that question. Don't you snark question me. Sorry for the non-Juno question. But do you think stocks will tank for the weekend, in your opinion? Yeah, I think we probably sell off here at the end of the day. But they're ripping right now, so maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. If I were to guess, I'd say yeah, because I wouldn't want to hold over this weekend if I didn't have the ability to sell. All right. Yeah, dude. Well, look, it didn't start that way for me. I moved over like 10% of my portfolio when I first got to Cosmos. It just so happens that it's gone up so much since I've been there that I'm well over 50% now. And that's good. All right. That's it for me. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for the support. For those of you who are subs, I appreciate the subs. I'm trying to do more. I'm in the process of kind of reworking the show to make it a little bit more structured, a little bit more tight, so we can get better guests. So I appreciate all of you for coming in and supporting. Appreciate subs. It helps me pay for some of the stuff that I'm doing. I'm doing a show redesign. I'm adding in new features. Like I'm going to have a live ticker, including all the Osmos or all the Cosmos tokens. That's going to scroll like some pretty cool stuff, I think. And that comes from you guys supporting. So I appreciate you. And with that, I'm going to start my outro, which gives us 1 minute. Any final, any final things that you got to say? Now's the time. Peace out, bro.
5 to the 4 to the 3, 2, 1.
Word, 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 word.
An NFT shelf? I know, dude. I need to build it, man. I need to build it. Yeah, of course. Thank you all for popping in. You are welcome, Frazier. Isn't the outro pretty sick? I mean, it started from the bottom, now we here. Like, I can't claim it, but it's pretty hot. We started from the bottom, now we here. Particularly on Cosmos and Juno. Let's fucking go. See you guys.